What's going on, guys? It's NBA All-Star 967 here, and today I'm going to be doing an NBA related video. And in this video I will be doing a regular season records prediction. Following that, I will do a postseason prediction as well as the award winners. We're going to start out this video with the Eastern Conference, or as Skip Bayless calls it, the Leastern Conference. Having the best overall record and first in the East will be Giannis and the Bucks with a record of 63-19. And even though they took a step back in terms of their roster by losing Brogdon and Mirotic, I believe Giannis is a great enough superstar to carry the load all season long to get them to the first seed like he did last year. Plus, they have great continuity going into this year, which always helps for great playoff teams. Next is the Philadelphia 76ers at 54-28, and even though they lost Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick, and TJ McConnell, I think they kind of made up for it by signing Al Horford and Trey Burke, and also acquiring Josh Richardson to the sign and trade for Jimmy Butler. And they're all impact players in a way that Al Horford won't put up 20 a game. He might not even put up 15 a game. Because last year he only averaged like 12.5, 7, and 4. But they're all impact players where their stats aren't going to show up, but their impact will be felt every single game with Al Horford's defense. Same goes for Josh Richardson, and he might have a lesser role as well, just because Tobias is going to have to step it up, and Josh Richardson might be the fourth or fifth guy to take all the shots on the team, considering they have Ben Simmons, Embiid, Tobias Harris, as I stated, and Al Horford. The only asterisks I have with this team is, of course, Ben Simmons and his progression to 1, take a jump shot, 2, actually having a jump shot. And the second thing is the health of Joel Embiid, because last year the main reason they ended up losing to the Raptors was because Embiid was never healthy. If Embiid is healthy for at least 3 games, they're going to win that series, because he was sick one game, hurt the next, sick the next game, and then hurt the next game. Onto the third seed with a record of 52-30 will be the Boston Celtics, and even though they're not going to be good defensively as they were last year because they lost people like Al Horford and Aaron Baines, I feel like their offense is going to make up for it by signing Kemba Walker and Enes Kanter to go along with their young guys of Carson Edwards, who's just a knockdown shooter if you guys seen him in the Summer League, Taco Fall, and Romeo Langford. Not only that, but they're also still going to have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who should have big seasons next year. And at fourth will be the Indiana Pacers, who I feel will be a sneaky good team despite losing Bojan Bogdanovic, because I kind of look at them as the new Memphis Grizzlies in terms of their grit and grind style of play. And even with Oladipo injured, and they lost in 4 to the Celtics last year, every game was within 10 points. So I have them at 51-31 because they could have a lineup of Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo, Jeremy Lamb, TJ Warren, Miles Turner, and guys like Domantas Sabonis, Doug McDermott, and TJ McConnell off the bench. And in the fifth seed, I think it'll be the Brooklyn Nets at 49-33. But this is also the strong assumption that Kevin Durant will not play a single game this year. And this is also factoring in how Kyrie Irving will fit in Kenny Atkinson's offense and defense overall style of play, and how the other young guys like Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie will handle the leadership or non-leadership of Kyrie Irving, because there's only so much Kevin Durant could do when he's actually not on the court playing. That leads us into the sixth spot with the reigning champs, the Toronto Raptors, at 48-34, because Spicy P showcased in the finals against a former Defensive Player of the Year in Draymond Green that he's the next rising star. In Game 1, I believe he had 32 or 31 points. And not to mention, they'll still have Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, and Fred VanVleet, just to name a few key players who were key in their finals run last year and played big minutes. And they also signed another young player, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who should be nice defensively to go along with OG Anunoby, which should, of course, improve their defense, but their offense is not going to be anywhere near as good by losing Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard, of course. And taking the 7th spot will be Blake Griffin and the Detroit Pistons. And the only real way that this team truly got better was by adding 6th Man of the Year candidate Derrick Rose and Markieff Morris. So that's really it for them. But I feel like they could have a roster shakeup involving moving Andre Drummond, since his game really hasn't evolved besides, rebounding, putback dunks, and putback layups. And he averages 15 a game, but he's not really spreading the floor for Blake Griffin to, live up to his full potential, at least in Detroit, to make that Dwayne Casey's system work better. So their record will be just 45-37. For the final spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs, I wanted to be biased and honestly put the Bulls, but going from 22 wins, which backtracked from the previous season of having just 27 wins, to now going up to 40 wins, is asking for a bit too much. So I went with the team's strong continuity and the Orlando Magic. The only problem I have is, will Markelle Fultz and Mo Bamba actually produce for them in any sort of valuable way? Because workout videos are one thing for Markelle and Mo Bamba, but actually putting up those stats and taking those shots and actually making those impact plays is another thing on the court, because Markelle Fultz lost his jumper the moment he got into Philadelphia, and Mo Bamba last year had a game where he played like 17 minutes and put up 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. Like, what am I supposed to do with a top pick like that? But anyways, we're going to transition into the lottery teams now, which will be in this order: the Chicago Bulls at 38-44, the Heat at 37-45, the Hawks at 33-49, the Knicks at 30-52, the very lowly Wizards 28-54, the Cavs at 23-59, and lastly, the Charlotte Hornets at 15-67 after losing Kemba Walker. The reason I feel the Chicago Bulls will have a better record than the Heat, even though they got Jimmy Butler, is because they have a solid team in Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Otto Porter Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr., and then their new rookies, Kobe White and Daniel Gafford. It's just that the Heat have an all-around, to me, not so... let me just say it straight up. They have a pretty trash roster. It's going to be Goran Dragic, Jimmy Butler, Justice Winslow, Kelly Olynyk, and Bam Adebayo. Sure, everyone can step up and they're going to probably progress, but in all honesty and on paper, their roster does not stack up to even the Bulls, because the Bulls have a better young core than the overall team that the Heat have, because they also lost, of course, Hassan Whiteside by trading him to the Portland Trailblazers, which helped the Trailblazers actually get better. Next will be the Atlanta Hawks, who kind of remind me of last year's Sacramento Kings in terms of they have such a nice and loaded young roster who have a couple veterans here and there, kind of like Vince Carter. They also have another young guy, Jabari Parker, who they signed this year. And they're also going to have players like Trae Young, Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter, John Collins, just to name a few. Bruno Fernando as well. Next is the Knicks, who had a bust of a summer because they were looking to get Kyrie, KD, or Kawhi, Kyrie, anything that kind of involved Kyrie and or KD or Kawhi. But they obviously did not get that. They ended up getting as their best player Julius Randle, and that's not a knock on Julius Randle because he's a great player and all, but it's just when you go from Kevin Durant as what you wanted, and of course you also were hoping to draft Zion, that didn't happen either. You got RJ Barrett and Julius Randle as those top tier players that you ended up getting, and other players like, Marcus Morris and Taj Gibson. And I'm just going to kind of skip over the Cavaliers at 23-59 because even though they drafted Darius Garland with their first round pick, I'm not really going to put any money for him to be great either this year or in 5 years, but I truly hope he can shut me up because he's coming out of college playing 5 games after injuring his knee. So that's never really a great sign. That's kind of a sign for, and I hate to say it because he's my favorite player, or one of my favorite players still, Derrick Rose, because you come into the NBA with injury problems already, it's never going to be a good sign. That's why people like Bol went so low, and even last year's draft, Michael Porter Jr. went from number 1 prospect to dropping all the way down to the 14th spot. But lastly will be the worst of the Eastern Conference, the Charlotte Hornets, who, well, I guess have Terry Rozier and Miles Bridges as their 2 best players, but according to 2K, their best player is Cody Zeller, which is not really the greatest thing to ever say in your life unless it's maybe college. But I still don't know why MJ is going to try paying Rozier all that money when he shot 32% in the playoffs last year, or this past year I should say, and has a career field goal percent of 38%. Like, that's not really the greatest, especially if you're trying to be that starting point guard that you wanted to be and beat Kyrie for. So yeah, that's really gonna be all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I know it's been a while that I've actually uploaded, for those that actually are still somehow subscribed to me, but I plan on actually uploading more videos consistently, at least maybe 2 a week, because I'm not going to be going to school anymore. Not that I dropped out, I already graduated and stuff, and the only thing I really have to worry about is my job. But I'm not going to be working 50 plus hours a week. I'm just going to be working like 30 to 35. So if you guys enjoyed, like and share this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, where I'll be talking about the Western Conference.